Hannah, it's on tape. We saw this whole thing go down. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? First, everything I say, it's a commentary on the show, on the characters in the show, and on the narrative that the show has decided to present to us. It is not personal. Do not take it personal. Store your pitchforks, store your torches, store your clicking fingers. And if you take reality TV shows personally, maybe don't watch reviews. I'm just saying. But yeah, commentary is all on the show, and it is not personal. I don't know these people from nowhere. I'm not going to their Instagrams, Facebooks, or whatever to talk to them. It is just on here, and it's just on the show. We good? Hi, people. Welcome to the other channel. My name is Talia Adewale, and here I am, Mrsdanji. Today we're doing Love is Blind season 7, and as soon as I came to terms with the fact that I would be posting on this other channel, honestly it gave me peace because I really do love Love is Blind. Not necessarily the American version, but I watch them all. I really do, but it just doesn't fit with the family and the community that I have built on this by them. So every time I post it, I almost feel like I'm burdening people posting it on there just because it doesn't fit in with, the Korean, the Chinese, the Spanish, basically the international community that I have started over in this by them. So the instant that I decided that I was just gonna post whatever I wanted on this channel, it brought me so much joy, I tell you. Before we get into it, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Let me know. I've seen the whole thing, so there's no spoilers for me. There might be spoilers for other people, but they saw the title, so if they click on it, it's their problem. So let me know. Let me know which couples you think are going the distance. Let me know what you caught that maybe people haven't necessarily caught yet. I haven't watched any reviews. My go-to person for Love is Blind is Queen E. Shout out to Queen E. You keep us updated on a lot of stuff. But I haven't watched any because I wanted to give my own review and then go watch hers. And she's doing episode by episode, so it's perfect. So actually, 7 couples got engaged that we saw. Probably more did, but they don't follow all of them. I don't know if it's a budget thing. God, I look like an alien head, don't I? Kind of like it. Mega Mind in the building, people. They don't show us everybody who gets engaged, and I don't know why. They could easily do this as like, Love is Blind, the ones we didn't see. It's content that people will eat up, but I guess there's a lot of legalities and a lot of just stuff to consider when doing that. But 7 were shown. We do see 7 people get engaged. First were Garrett and Taylor. Garrett, I don't know. I can't get a read on this guy, if I'm being honest. I think it's because he's very methodical and almost speaks like a robot that has amped up his emotions by percentages throughout his life. It's the best way that I can explain it. And he doesn't give me disingenuous, but he doesn't give me sure either. And that's something that I have been that's something that I can't really, figure out about Garrett. On the other hand, we have Taylor, who I love, absolutely love her. I just like that when she started speaking, it was just, she just kept hopping up herself. Like everything she said was even more intelligent than the last thing she said. Then she also has this dry humor. She's tall. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I love a tall girl. I love a tall guy. I love a tall person. It's something I don't have, right? Like I'm not short, but I am short. It's something I don't have. So I really love seeing it on other people. And tall women I just find really sexy. Just being honest. So when she came on the scene, she also has this, it's kind of like erratic, awkward energy about her, which Garrett also kind of has and which they kind of match together. Them in the pods was kind of nice. I mean, they did connect on a lot of scientific things. They were connecting a lot on theories on, because he's a physicist, right? Right, because Brittany could not spell that. Yes. And she does something nuclear something. Was she the one in nuclear? I don't really remember their professions. If I'm being honest, I didn't pay attention too much to professions and age. But they did connect a lot on a lot of scientific theories and stuff like that. They could speak each other's language, They're kind of like sexy nerds. That's the best way that I could think about it. Them together, I actually did like. They're the only ones that I put a heart beside in their names on my notes, because I just do like them together. Do I think that they will make it? Can't tell you. If I'm being honest, I can't tell you. I think it's like 85% at this point. Just because when they get in the bubble, in the pods, it's a bubble, right? And then they open themselves up to other things when they move in together, meet each other's family. And I don't know that. I just feel like there's an uncertainty there. I do hope that they say yes, because I do think they fit, but I'm not sure. I can't be 100% on them. Garrett and Taylor's couple reveal. I don't know why I'm saying it's the reveal, right? Their reveal was kind of awkward sizzling. It was awkward at first, and then when they started kissing, I was like, okay. It's getting good. It's getting good, but I like them. Tyler and Ashley. I like them. I'm not gonna lie. I like Tyler because he kind of looks like my husband's cousin, and I like Ashley because she's just cool. I like the way she's like, she's the perfect balance of prim, proper, and hood, if you get what I mean. Like, she's very eloquent, very well spoken, love that about her, but then she'll just throw in like the for sure, and then when she does the I just love it. Every time she would do that, I would smile from ear to ear. Love it. Them together, absolutely love. I feel like there was a lot of tragedy in this whole thing. Everybody had some kind of tragedy going on in their lifetime, and it was kind of a lot. But Tyler and Ashley, I see they're like the perfect couple in the pods. Now we just need to see that translate in the honeymoon. They seemed really well as well. They seemed good. He would always tell her to say the I love yous again, and I don't know if that's gonna be a problem eventually. We just have to wait and see. But I could see being a married couple. I could see being the next Tiffany and Brett of the show. And it's not because they're black. It's because of the dynamic. I think that they really do work well together. I like the way she does seem reserved, when she's with him. But the eyes never lie. The way she looks at him, that girl loves that man, honestly. And he's all in for her. Their couple reveal, theirs was really cute. Like, you could see her body language was very much like this, and almost like she was holding back a little bit, but not in a way where she was rejecting him. It was just in a way like, okay, I'm just gonna calm myself. She seems like a very calm person, and that was something that he made a note of. He said that one of his favorite things about her is the fact that she makes him feel safe. So she does have that energy about her. I'm watching them. I like them. I see them being definitely 99% to the altar. But I'm watching, there's always that 1%, there's always that doubt for all of them, and Love is Blind, right? So I'm watching them. I want to see how they do when they get back home and they're living together. Next to get engaged were Steven and Monica. This couple, first of all, Steven did not need Ancestry.com to tell him that he had a little black in him. He should have just gone to a black person and said, and the black person would have told him, yeah, you definitely have a little something in you. And I'm never really a fan of the whole Ancestry and me, or oh yeah, I have black in me, I identify as this percent. It doesn't do anything for me. It just doesn't do anything for me. But I'm not going to talk about that, so people store your pitchforks. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. But here's the thing about their own relationship. Steven on his own, he seems like a genuine person. If he ends up not being genuine, he is a fan-fucking-tastic actor, because he seems like every emotion that he feels, you can see it. Like, he will express it. He won't even wait for you to see it. He will express it and you would know instantly. He doesn't seem dishonest to me. He seems like everything he feels, he relays. Monica, I don't know. Monica gives me pause. She's very gorgeous. She's beautiful. This girl is gorgeous. But here's one thing. In the pod, Steven said that he technically got caught cheating. And Monica's response was, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what? For what? I'm not even bothered that, like, it's not Steven that I'm upset with in this conversation. He was vulnerable enough. He confessed something that he knew was wrong. He was vulnerable enough to tell the truth about it. Love that. Be honest, be you. Like I said, he wears his emotions on his sleeves, on his face. Anything he feels, he will say. She's saying, I am so sorry, is what did not register for me. I don't know if it was creative editing, but there's no way it could have been. Because even when she said it, he paused a little and he was like, okay, thank you. But why? That was like the first thing that irked me a little bit. And I was like, and then him calling her a mutt. I didn't like that, but she didn't care. She said it herself because she's a mix of everything. So I guess it's fine. If she's not offended, I'm not offended. I'm not that kind of person to carry it on my head. They, I think, could work, but I feel like Monica is going to be the deciding factor in here because by the time they get to the honeymoon stage, Steven talks nonstop. He doesn't stop unless you stop him. And she was getting upset at the end of day two. She was really getting, like, the vibes were very off with her. She tried to hold it together, but the vibes were off. You could tell that this girl was fucking upset that she hasn't been able to talk to the guy. But my own thing is that the first time that he's talking too much, you tell him that you love it. So he keeps talking, and then all of a sudden, you can't get a word in edgewise. And it's like, talk to him. Talk to him and don't be snippy about it. Just be like, okay, we need to work on this because I love hearing you speak, but I also have to speak. And don't be bratty about it. Don't accept something and then move the goalpost later on and let it become a problem, which is something that I'm going to talk about with a couple that is coming up soon. The next couple was Tim and Alex. Still no triangle here. However, I don't like Tim. I didn't like him from the first word that he said. I like Alex, I do, but I feel like she's being way too quiet on the show. I think she does have a spicy side, which I feel like came up in the honeymoon. They didn't show it to us, which is interesting because usually in Love is Blind, like Brazil or something else, whenever they do have, and they have a lot of heated arguments, we see it all. But I guess US doesn't always do. They do. In previous seasons, they've shown it. I don't know why they didn't show this one. It's fine. But Tim, I don't like. I'm just going to put it out there. And I think Tim and Alex connected through tragedy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because Tim has a very tragic story. And I feel like I won't say he used that, but that definitely played a lot into their connection. Talking about how his sister's passed away, giving her a bracelet from his sister in the pods. I don't mind gifts in the pods, but something as personal as that, I would wait to give you in person. Because for me, it would mean more. And I'm not taking away from their experience, guys. I'm not taking away from anything. I know that these shows are heavily edited. I know that. However, I'm speaking from this angle because in connecting so much with his emotion, or in connecting so much through emotion and the tragedy of his past, I don't think that she really got to understand the kind of person that Tim is. I read the kind of person that Tim was the instant I saw him. He will bulldoze anybody who isn't strong enough to really stand up to him in a relationship. And then when you stand up to him in a relationship, he's going to turn around and say it's disrespect. That was the kind of person that Tim was giving me from the instant that I saw him. And I clocked it because in the honeymoon in Mexico, something had happened. The night before, he had already told all the girls that he likes Alex because she gives it to him as much as he gives it to her. She's able to stand 10 toes, up against him, which is what he wants. He wants a strong woman because he's a strong man. And then apparently she does that and he's like, oh, he felt disrespected. And I'm like, what do you want? Do you want a girl to stand up to you or do you want a meek person to be just there and taking all the shit? The truth is he wants a meek person to be just there and take his alpha bullshit because that's all it is. Let me know in the comment section if you saw something different. But I don't like him, especially not for Alex, because I think that in that relationship, he will bulldoze Alex. He's definitely going to run that ship and run it the way he's the kind of alpha male that is my way or the highway. And I just don't resonate with that. Alex also said something in the pods that really rubbed me the wrong way. So she's a child of divorce. She said that her dad and her stepmom have been together for a long time, and then he got this degenerative disease, and her mom also got it. But the dad and the stepmom have been married, and so the stepmom took care of the dad and has been taking care of him. However, the mom had dated this guy for 15 years, and as soon as she started she got sick and, she couldn't do a lot of things for herself, the guy cut out. And that is why she wants to get married. And I was like, That doesn't make sense to me. Because it doesn't matter whether you're married or not. There's nothing stopping your stepmother from exiting out of the marriage because she doesn't want to take care of the man who is sick and can't do things for himself. That has nothing to do with you saying I do or I don't. It has everything to do with the person. Your stepmom is doing that because she loves your father and appreciates him for who he is. Your step dad or your mom's boyfriend didn't stay because he didn't love your mom. It had nothing to do with the marriage. I don't know. That didn't sit well with me. It just didn't seem like a reason to get married to me. I just felt like the reasons why a lot of people were choosing to want to settle down and have marriages in this season were shallow and they weren't really well thought out. But it is the reality of the world that we live in right now. Some people just have this idea in their head and they run with it. Nick D and Hannah. Oh, Lordy. We're going to need a whole hour to cover Nick D and Hannah. So Nick D is Mr. Suave. They call him Mr. Suave because he was so smooth. You know, he could charm the pants off anybody. He would talk. He was definitely too smooth. Even for me, I was like, player in the house, you know. Hannah, I don't think Hannah should have been on this show. I think Love is Blind should focus on older people. I just think so. Nothing against the younger people. But you are young. It's your time to explore and live your life and find out what you can find out out there. I don't necessarily think that Hannah is mature enough to be getting married, and she proves me right. Initially, I didn't like Nick D because I thought that he was too smooth. However, when I noticed that he was focused only on Hannah, I was like, there's really not much I can say against this guy because he's doing the right things. It's not like he's playing two people. In that scenario, Hannah was the one who was focused on two people because Hannah was in a love triangle with Nick D and Leo. In fact, it was a love square because Leo was in another triangle with Brittany and Hannah. So in that relationship, in that whole scenario, Nick D had done nothing wrong and I could not hold anything against him. Hannah was the one who was tiptoeing between two guys. Hannah breaks up with Nick D, tells him to come back. It just wasn't making sense. In the end, she chooses Nick D. They get engaged. When they meet, when they do the couple reveal, honestly, she looked disappointed. I get it that he maybe had talked himself. He had compared himself to Superman. What's his name? Henry Cavill. He'd compared himself to some other people. So she was expecting, and he played football and all that kind of stuff. So she was expecting a big guy. And even what's her name? Monica said, he's so small. That was funny. But it still didn't. I just felt like she had decided as soon as she saw him, she was disappointed. And she had decided that she was going to look for problems. And so when it came around to the honeymoon, in the pods, all the girls had told her, break up with him. I mean, you shouldn't always follow what people say. Go based on your own emotions. She tried to defend him, saying she sees something in him that she doesn't see in anybody else, that she sees more in him than, you know, the other girls are seeing her, so she didn't want to leave him and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, stand in your decision and do what you want. So obviously they do get engaged. In Mexico, they're talking and he sees these ducks on the beach and he wants to ride them. They're like kind of racing dogs. She says, don't go over there, it's gonna give me the ache. He's like, I want to do it because it's gonna make me happy. I think it will be fun. He goes over. Some older woman says, are you gonna do it? Let's race. She comes over, she sits down. Hannah is like, you know, like this monkey that licked the lime, sitting on her bench looking at them. So the woman calls her out and says, no, you're jealous, don't do that. And I was happy that woman called her out because here's the thing. In that scenario, honestly, I don't think that Nick did wrong. I really don't. I don't think so. He saw something that doesn't take away from anybody. Those things were put there to be played with. He wanted to play with it. So he decides that he was going to do that. This woman comes over him. Very friendly. He is always naturally flirty. She knew this from the pods. And he wasn't even flirting too much with her. He was being friendly. I can see how you may think that, he crossed the board. But he didn't. Not to me. Doing something that brought him joy. And you decided that you were not going to do it with him. And then you get upset because he raced with somebody else. Turn the story. Flip the narrative. Say that the woman insulted you and he was laughing with her. And it's like, Hannah, it's on tape. We saw this whole thing go down. What are you talking about? I don't like Hannah. I don't necessarily like Nick, But I don't like Hannah. I just don't like it. I think she's immature, and I think that she's not ready for whatever it is that she thinks that she's ready for on Love Is Blind. Cuts to the scene where they all meet and Nick is telling the guys how Hannah had a whole list of things, like pros and cons list. Basically, nobody ever wants a pros and cons list on their partner, or to see one that they've written about you, and at the end she wrote delusional and then he calls her delusional. I don't see them working. Let's just be honest. I don't think these people, if they do end up together, it's going to be chaotic and bad. In fact, I think Nick should escape now. I feel like he's the one who's getting the short end of the stick. Hannah is not ready. Hannah is not ready. In the previews, she was like, I took you from a boy to a man. And I was like, God dang. God dang, God dang, God dang. No. No, Hannah is, I'm not on Hannah's side. I'm not necessarily on Nick's side, guys. But I'm not on Hannah's side in this. Because I don't see anything that he did wrong. I don't. Like, if something brings my partner joy and it doesn't affect us in any way, go do it. Be you. Live your life. You knew who he can't speak. You knew who he was coming out the pods. You knew that he didn't lie. Nick hasn't changed from the pods to life. So why are you now making it a problem? You accepted who he was in the pods, so accept it in person. That's my mentality. But then again, this is all for show. So like I said, Hannah was in a love triangle with Leo and Brittany. Leo is the biggest problem on this show. So Leo starts off with how he doesn't want a girl to love him for his money. He's an art dealer. All his parents died, so he inherited the business. And he kept on going about how he doesn't want a girl to like him for his money. He doesn't want a girl. And then I was like, then shut up about the money. If you don't want people to, want you for something specific, then don't bring it up. Say you do a lot of business with art dealers. Simple, and leave it there. If she wants you to explain a little, explain. You don't have to tell them that you own the business. If you don't want somebody wanting you for your money, then stop throwing how much money you have in their face. Like, he was one person that I didn't even understand why he was on this show. He said, what did he say? I wrote it down. I was so mad. He said, I want to be married because I want to be on a team. I said, join the tennis club. Join a sports club. If that's your reason for being married. Now, he was very much on the I want Hannah train. But if I'm being honest, I definitely prefer Brittany for Leo than Hannah. Because I think that he would have eventually, especially with the kind of society that he runs with, art dealers are very hoity-toity. He would have definitely been ashamed of Hannah at some point, and he would have made her feel like she wasn't good enough at some point. Hannah is actually very intelligent, and she knows a lot of stuff about stuff. But for me, I don't think that it would have been enough in the long run for Leo. And then we see Brittany. Can we call Brittany a gold digger? I really don't think, sorry, I got hair in my eye or something. I really don't think I can call Brittany a gold digger though. Because, and here's why. I think the general, maybe definition of what she's looking for is definitely along the lines of gold digging. But I wouldn't call her a gold digger because she was honest about it. She said she wants a guy that has money. She wants to be a trophy wife. In fact, he's going to do everything. All she wants to do is look pretty and stay at home. She said he will take care of the kids, he will cook, he will do everything. All she wants to do is look pretty and stay at home. And she was honest about it, and I can't fault her for that. She was clear about what she wanted, and she stated it clearly. Now, where I fault Brittany is the manipulation. Because when she's talking to Leo, at one point in the post, she said, I want to name my first kid, was it Leo? Was it Leo? I can't remember who she was talking to. But she said she wanted to name their first kid the same name as them. Then the person said, I don't think I will like that. And immediately she said, oh, I think we can change it. And I was like, you're basically telling them what you think they want to hear so that you can curry favor. I did think that there was a lot of manipulation with Brittany. She definitely had her sights on that money. She could see it with Leo and she was going to do anything to keep it. But then there was this whole thing. I think Leo is duplicitous. He's not honest about it. Because when Hannah broke up with him, he then tells Hannah, he then tells Hannah that, oh, can you tell Brittany that it was mutual? And it's like, Why? You've already pressured the girl into thinking that she was making some kind of mistake because he was all upfront when she told him that I'm choosing Nick. He was like, "Oh, but are you choosing him because he said he loved you first? Like, how can you let our schedule determine who your husband will be?" Like, he was very erratic about it, um, almost like he was pressuring her. It's not even almost. He was definitely pressuring her about making her choice, making her feel bad about her choice. And then the next day he says, "Oh, you know what? Brittany is the one I actually truly love. She's the one I care about." And I'm like, Leo was a lot. Let's just leave it there. I can't even talk about him anyway. But when Leo and Brittany see each other, there was definitely something off. She was the reserved. It was awkward at some point. She was honestly pulling away from him, and they don't even make it to the honeymoon. They don't make it to Mexico together, so they don't explain yet. I'm guessing we'll get the explanation in the next episode. But they don't tell us what happened, and all of a sudden they're just not making it to Mexico. I don't see them. I mean, I think they could marry. He already put the idea out of prenup, but he only put it out to Hannah that we saw. So I don't know if he also made that same suggestion to Brittany. I don't know. We only saw Hannah, and Hannah was like, "Yeah, I'll sign whatever you want. I don't care. I don't really even know what you do." So I don't know. You know, I didn't like Leo. I sort of like Brittany because she was at least honest about it. You know what you get when you see her. I can respect that. But yeah, Leo and Hannah and Nick D honestly cannot go. They can go suck an egg for all I care. I'm actually really curious about what happened between Leo and Brittany and why they didn't go to Mexico though. All right, so our last couple was Ramses. I always want to say Ramirez. I don't know why. Ramses and Marissa. And they were in a love triangle with Bodan. Um, I don't know. This is an interesting case. I think Marissa is full on. Full on. The energy is energying with Marissa. She's like the energy bunny that could not stop. Now, I would never want someone to change who they are, but I wonder if eventually that would become much for Ramses because Ramses is very even kill. Like he just goes with the flow. Like, and I feel maybe that's the balance that they need, and that maybe that's the balance that will help because I do think that they actually really like each other. I would have chosen Bodhi for Marissa, but there was really no romantic chemistry there. There was not. There was a lot of banter, a lot of friend exchange. Like they could very much parley and talk to each other easily, but I felt more romantic tension for her and Ramsey. So in the end, I do think she made the right choice between the two guys. I do, 100%. But I can't really read Ramsey's. I feel like he was more open in the pods than he has been on the honeymoon. Can someone please let me know in the comments if you agree or if there's something that I'm just not clocking between the two of them. I don't think there's a problem. I feel like they are 99 as well percent. If anything changes, it will probably be on Ramsey's end because I think Marissa is definitely in love with him. But yeah, that was kind of like the breakdown. I think that the season is going well. I see a lot of tension that's going to brew as we go on, and I'm interested to see the dynamic of when they're living together. I think Nick D and Hannah should just call it quits in the honeymoon. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. They obviously don't. We see like I think they make it to the altar. I feel like because they did that whole party, the second party where they all do and come together, and that's where we got the shots of her saying that I took you from a boy to a man. You never tell a guy that. You never, even if it's true, don't ever say that. Like she's just not mature enough to be on the show. That's what I think. Honestly, that's what I feel. She's just not mature to be on the show, and she should probably not have been cast on the show. But it is what it is. It's good entertainment. I'm not really sure if I'll be back with like a follow up. We'll see. If it's interesting enough, you guys will see me again. Like this is my throwaway channel, to be honest. Like I just do whatever I want on this channel, and I love that I have that choice. But I always do reunion reactions, so that will come out for sure. let me talk like Ashley, for sure. That will come out for sure. So whenever that rolls out, there will definitely be a reaction. It's going to be obviously cut on YouTube, but it will be free on my Patreon, and I'll let you guys know with all the links and everything. But yeah, let me know in the comment section What couples do you think are making it? What couples do you think are not making it? What did you like so far? Are you liking the season? I think it's an okay season. I don't see too many problems with it so far, but yeah, I think it's an okay season, and I'm excited to see where they take it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the recap. Thank you so much to everyone who's been commenting and watching stuff on here. We do all of the, sleazy, trashy stuff here. If I'm being honest, I'm not even kidding. I love it. All the real short movies, this is where they're gonna be. If you haven't seen them, check them out. And then feel free to check out the main channel. It's a lot of Korean content. I know it's not for everybody, but they're really good. So trust me when I say it. And it's reality TV content too, so it's really, really good. But yeah, thank you guys. Subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles!